what am I? Am I my physical body? Am I my mind? Or is there something beyond the mind? The self. What is the self? Is it the soul? Consciousness. What is consciousness? Where does it come from? My name's Stevie Saranga. I was a Hindu monk for about 10 years, living at in an ashram on top of a hill in Scotland. When I was about 13, I remember sitting in my bedroom, and I had a little desk there, and I was playing a knife game, you know, where you get a knife and you like splay your fingers out like that, and then you with the knife you try and go as fast as you can between your fingers like this. You can only do it to try and impress girls, you know. Maybe, you know, if you were in the right situation, you could do something like that. But otherwise, you know, it's just, I don't know, just something people do. I don't know why. But anyway, I was doing it, trying to get as fast as I could. And as I was doing it, I kind of began to consider and think about, well, you know, even if I do make a little mistake, you know, catch the side of one of my fingers, or at worst even chop a finger off, you know, maybe just the end of a finger, not a whole finger. Anyway, you know, pain, you know, I get a little bit of pain, but at the same time as getting a bit of pain, I can also distance myself from the pain and detach myself from the pain, you know. I mean, the hand, it's so far away, you know. I mean, I'm, you know, there's a sense in which, you know, I'm up here, you know, this is me. You know, this is my head, you know. We've got my head here, got my face, got my brain at the back there. That's what they tell us, the brain's in there. My hand, it's all the way down there, you know, it's arm's length away. It's okay, you know, there's some pain, there's some, you know, electrical signals, you know, being triggered, sending a message, you know, up the nerves to the brain, and, you know, you can analyze it and reduce it to nothing more than these electrical signals. And as long as it's not too bad, you know, you can detach yourself from the sensation of the pain in the finger there, and then, you know, even worse, you know, if I did chop the end of a finger off, or if I chopped a whole finger off, does it really affect me, who I am? It's not going to affect okay, you know, a slightly impaired ability to hold objects and pick objects up, but is it really going to affect you know, my destiny, my future possibilities, whatever might happen to my life? Not really, especially if it was only just the end of a finger. You know, think of an even worse scenario. Perhaps, you know, heaven forbid, a terrible accident, I might lose an arm, I might even lose all my limbs. I could just be reduced to a torso. But would it affect who I am? No, it wouldn't really affect my personality. Okay, I might, you know, turn negative because of that, but it isn't necessarily that it's going to do that. That would depend on my own response to you know, such a terrible thing happening. You know, but I wouldn't necessarily have to respond in that way. It might affect my mood, but it wouldn't really affect me, who I am. It wouldn't necessarily affect my personality. I mean, I could respond to that positively. And so I could lose all my limbs. I could lose my finger, could lose my hand, could lose my arm, could lose all my limbs. I could even have, you know, internal organs replaced. I could have a heart transplant. I could have a liver transplant. In theory, you know, I might be able to replace all of my internal organs, possibly even my brain. And would I at least I know if I could replace all my internal organs in my torso, and I would still be the same person. I wouldn't be changed. I would still be me. So this thought experiment, which I went through, age 13, playing the knife game, I realised, yeah, I'm not my physical body. I'm not my body. I'm something else. And I concluded at that time that, you know, therefore, if I'm not my body, well, I'm my mind. And what is the mind? The mind is thoughts, ideas, concepts, memories, the idea of my relationships with other people, how I relate to others and how they see me, my idea of how they see me. That affects who I think I am. For example, someone might express that they think I'm a great person, and then my mind, I would feel, yeah, I'm a great person. Otherwise, I might be offended and insulted and maybe victimized, and I would have a lower impression of myself. Oh, I'm very weak, and I would get depressed. So this this concept of identity as the mind is more true and more prominent and more powerful than my identity as a physical body. I mean, yeah, the concepts that are in the mind, the sense of identity is well. I identify myself in my mind as okay. Well, I've got a physical body. Yeah, I've got a white male body. Therefore, in my mind, okay, I identify as that. But am I that? I mean, we've just concluded, haven't we, that I'm not the body. We could take it so far as, okay, limbs lost, internal body replaced, skin transplant, and sex change, and hormone treatment. So this question of identity, it's getting a little bit more complicated now, but we want to say for definite, I'm not the physical body, I'm the mind. And then what am I? Who do I think I am in my mind? And what am I? So that was my conclusion, that I'm not the body, I'm the mind. And then who am I according to the mind? That's another question. But I continued with this understanding or belief for many years after that realization, age 13, until I reached the age of 26, when I began some serious meditation practice. I was using mantra meditation, and I built myself up. I started 10 minutes, half an hour, up to an hour, and then at the age 26, could do 2 hours. Started doing 2 hours a day, 2 hours of meditation a day, and I was doing something called mantra meditation. The point of meditation is to focus on something, and in that way, try to learn to control the mind. Insofar as we practice by again and again, repeatedly focusing. The mind gets distracted, you think about other things, you refocus on that thing which is the point of the meditation. So my first meditation practice was breathing exercises. I learned that from a Buddhist monk at a community centre in Chorley, where I'm from. But we were focusing on the breathing. Really, really nice meditation, breathing in white smoke, breathing in the virtuous qualities, breathing out black smoke, breathing out negative qualities, envy, jealousy, hatred, breathing those out and getting rid of those. Lovely meditation. But I learned that when I was about 19. When I was 26, we started doing the mantra meditation. So the focus of the meditation wasn't the breathing, but it was the sound of a mantra. You chant the mantra, recite the mantra quietly with your mouth, and you try to listen with the ears, and you just try to focus on the sound. So the mind comes up with all different kinds of things. The mind, that which I thought I was. So the mind would come up with all different kinds of ideas, like I would say to myself, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to chant 10 minutes, just do 10 minutes of meditation. As soon as I sat down, 30 seconds into it, the mind starts saying, yeah, this is boring, this is pretty boring. Come on, let's go get some toast, let's go make some toast. But I would be like, no, come on, we'll make the toast after 10 minutes, we can manage it for 10 minutes. Come on, this is so boring, sat here chanting this mantra, we could be doing something much more fun. Come on, let's go see if there's a can of Coke in the fridge. The mind keeps coming up with all of these different notions, these different ideas, and the point of the meditation is to practice focusing, and it isn't until you actually sit down and do some meditation and try to calm the mind that you realize how wild and unbridled this mind is, like a wild horse who wants to just run here, there, and everywhere and do whatever it likes. But just as you practice or develop a muscle in the arm, perhaps you do some bicep curls with a dumbbell, and then the muscle you practice and the muscle gets stronger. So similarly, if you practice focusing the mind through meditation, then you become better at that. Even so far as I had a friend who was working as I think he was a civil engineer, some kind of engineer. He's working in Glasgow, and his colleagues explained that he could do the same amount of work as they could do, but he could do it a lot quicker because he was also practicing meditation. So you're honing this muscle, this ability to focus, and he could do all the work just a lot quicker because he was able to focus a lot better. So yeah, having realized age 13 I wasn't my body, and then I began the meditation. I realized, well, I'm not. I began the meditation when I was 26. I realized, yeah, well, I'm not the mind either. I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. So, who the hell am I? What am I? Who is this higher self? You could say within the mind, but maybe obviously the word mind. It's a difficult. Philosophers argue left, right, and centre. What is the mind? Nobody can agree on a strict definition. But there's a nice framework that I've learned to use, which is we have the mind, which is the like the CPU, central processing unit for a computer. You've got the inputs, sensory inputs coming into the mind, and the mind has the ability to like or dislike, or like say yes or say no. And above that is the intelligence, and again categorization of what is intelligence, and it's just categorized by its function to discriminate between what it wants and what it doesn't want, and make some kind of rationalization, based on maybe mid-term, short-term, mid-term, more long-term goals. The intelligence is going to, rather than the mind being there, just I smell that cheese and onion pasty coming out of Greg's. Give me it, I want it. That's the mind. The intelligence is, well, there's a lot of calories and you're already a little bit overweight. This is the intelligence coming in with the rationalization. And the self is something even higher than that, and it's the self is it's kind of like just the observer, the witness, which observes and sees all these different goings on. It is the consciousness itself, and this is what I've learned as a monk in the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, mainly as the main yoga text, which gives which purports this kind of theory of psychology, of understanding. You could say understanding the self, but that's a contentious issue. Basically giving a framework, giving a vocabulary, giving strict definitions of what is a mind, what is an intelligence, a terminology and vocabulary that can be agreed upon, on which to form a basis on which to form further arguments about the self. So that's the end of my talk. Hope you enjoyed that. Offering my prayers to anybody who might listen, and I wish you all the best. God bless.